Okay, thank you, Fatma. Thank you very much for introduction. In the artificial intelligence, everybody would like to be more discreet because everything you did today would mean nothing in 3 months or in 6 months. Yes, we did quite a good job in the last 5 years. We started from scratch, and the biggest advantage we have now, it's our team. I'm very proud not of our technologies, I'm very proud of our team, because to make the team, to organize the team, and to have people who thinks always about how to make the world better, it's very difficult, and especially in the field of artificial intelligence. Everybody now is talking about artificial intelligence, but very few people really understand what does it mean. As I told on Monday, there is the magic stick from Harry Potter doesn't exist. So it's actually a lot of work. It's a lot of discovery. It's a lot of challenge. And yes, we won a lot of different prizes. We won the hackathons in January and February. We won hackathon for Ministry of Economy in Dubai, for Dubai Police. We had the also recognition here in Spain from the ministries. But the most important is that we have found that artificial intelligence, and especially what we call semantic AI, where our company is very strong, is a very big, powerful tool. And this powerful tool is not only for pharma, which we'll discuss today, it's also for huge amount of industries. And we already have like some gains because there are a lot of ministries from different countries which are willing to work with us. Different companies from different fields. And that means that the road we have chosen 5 years ago was correct. And many people were not happy with the coronavirus situation. However, for us, it was quite a good push because being the 100% digital company, it helps to provide digital transformation for other companies outside from here, from Madrid. So, not to waste more time, I would like to start presentation of my today's speech. Why pharma? It is very interesting point why our knowledge is so big in medicine and especially in pharma industry. First of all, pharma is one of the most regulated industries on the planet Earth. I would say that in the normal business, in the normal industries, there are two mostly regulated industries, banking and pharma. And if you'll ask any people from those industries, which are the most important departments in their life, everybody will tell you exactly the same: risk, legal, and compliance. So nothing will be started in banking or in pharma without those three departments. So that's why drugs, discovery, digital marketing, and everything which has relation with the pharma is a big challenge because they have to get a lot of approval. They should be ethically very correct. And that's why it's a big challenge for us, for people who are developing AI solutions, how we can help those highly regulated industries to go through the road of the digital transformation. So here is the quite famous road organized, made by Deloitte in last year, 2019, where they show where the pharma industry have their value chain. So here, first of all, in yellow, you can see the processes which are inside the pharma. So that's drug development, new medical scientific support, product launch, and inside the pharma, and this is very peculiar and very important thing. So we'll see later how the McKinsey is considering the development of pharma industry in digital transformation. But when we are talking about the internal process within the pharma, pharma is quite good. They're using different softwares like Oracle, SAP, and others. And for the internal, they are quite good. When we are going outside, when the pharma has to connect to the medical community, then the pharma has to connect to the doctors, then the pharma has to connect to healthcare professionals, they are very, very backwardness. They are exactly like they were 50 years ago. So who is one of the most important person in the sales and in the marketing? Medical representative. They have their suitcase, they have their drug, they go to the doctor to present their drugs, or they're organizing medical congress, trying to probably ethically in a very red line to offer some gifts, to offer some wonderful challenges during the congress at 5-star hotel, whatever. So that was the only place where they and how they can organize their marketing. Now we are in the year 2020. We are in the pandemic situation, and there are no medical representatives, neither in Europe, neither in Asia, neither in the United States. So they are not allowed to use these old-fashioned tools for the marketing of their products. Now, some of probably pharma will not agree with me, which is normal. They tell, no, we are using the new marketing tools. We are doing quite well. We are sending emails to our customers. We are very active in social network and everything. We know for 5 years medical community. We were creating zillions of tools for them. We know the life of real doctors. We know the life of real doctors in Mexico, in India, in United Arab Emirates, in Saudi Arabia, and in Singapore. Those people are working from 8 to 14 hours a day, because in many places they are not well paid. They do not have time for the vacations to spend with their families. They do not have time to sit with the medical representatives. Once upon a time in India, I saw a medical doctor who put in his schedule and his agenda for 2 hours, 42 medical representatives, giving each of them 2 to 3 minutes. It's not normal. So this is not digital marketing. So we were thinking, what is the real digital marketing in the year 2020? Can artificial intelligence help pharma companies to be more efficient? Can artificial intelligence do something better to provide the new tools in these violet colors, where the pharma company would like to come and to connect with the medical community, which is really the client of the pharma, medical community? Can artificial intelligence help in everything, in supply chain, in manufacturing, in new channels of the workforce? And by the end of the day, can pharma create new businesses? Because business growth is one of the most important and integrated part of all this business, to create new businesses each day, to improve the businesses existing. So this is what I was telling you before, the McKinsey table, which explaining where is pharma in the process of digitalization. So as I've told you before, when we are talking about the internal processes of pharma, starting with the drug discovery, starting with the internal processes and organizing the workflow and everything, pharma is still quite good. Not so bad as it was the public sector, which I was talking about on Monday. However, when we are going outside the structure of the pharma, it's going quite bad. So there are a lot of challenges and there are a lot of possibilities for applying artificial intelligence for the pharma value chain. Because by the end of the day, pharma is not interested in our technology. Pharma is interested how you can help us to be more valuable to our customers. It doesn't matter what we have behind. You know, before we were talking a lot about technology, how we are good in semantic AI, but by the end of the day, the client is not interested what technology we apply. Today we apply one technology, in 6 months another one, and in 1 year totally different. The pharma is interested. Can you provide me new value for my products? So many factors can determine a sector digitalization. So pharma is looking, and pharma is obliged to think about many of them, like cost and pricing, because especially now in the epoch of the pandemic situation, cost and pricing is a very serious thing. environmental, the structure of the companies, a lot of different challenges. So, and then we have another additional difficulties. Additional difficulties are the type and the growing volume of data, because one of the most important things today for pharma, for healthcare providers is an increasing volume of data. What can I do with all this data? How this data can create knowledge for me? Just yesterday, I had a very long meeting with one big company, which is part of the group of big German company, which working for providing services for pharma industries. And each 5 minutes, we're discussing data, data, how we can collect the data, how we can process the data, how this data will bring me new knowledge. So with the data, we have a lot of additional issues like data availability, privacy. You know, the pharma industry is absolutely obsessed with the privacy. So if you will tell them, oh no, we'll try to organize everything with the federate reading of the documents, anonymized clients, patients, whatever, still it's, unless they will touch and see it, they will never trust you. Sensitivity of the data, regulations, each country will have its own regulations, and this is very evident. So pharma is also obsessed with the regulations in different countries. Standardization of the data, and then the patterns, because why they need a lot of data? Because with the data, pharma would like to create patterns and then to use these patterns either to sell more or to create new drugs or to have the new type of the treatments. So, as I told you before, the most important part in the artificial intelligence, where we really spend a lot of time and where we have knowledge and where we have our like strong part of the knowledge, is semantic artificial intelligence. Recently, there are a lot of big quantity of the big serious players in this field. So semantic artificial intelligence 5 years ago was absolutely unknown field. Everybody here sounds like natural language processing, natural language understanding. What does it mean? In the last years, we have natural language generation, but still for many people, it's very abstract category. Suddenly, we see the big companies, serious companies entering in this field. Here you can see, for example, BERT by Google, which is Google, you know, one of the biggest companies on planet Earth, and they are seriously taking semantic AI. Now, you see the company OpenAI, which is supported with the money of Elon Musk, but yesterday it was a big announcement, and I hope many of you heard about this, that yesterday Microsoft announced that because of the big financial support to this company, they have exclusive right for the most important product from this company is GPT-3. The T in this word means transformer. So this is not transformer from Hollywood movie. What does it mean, the transformer? Transformer is the tool based on the semantic artificial intelligence, which help you either to understand any text, whatever, in any format, and to create from this text knowledge, or another possibility of transformer to generate new text based on the new knowledge. So what we are doing and how it works, the semantic AI, to be more precise, because one thing if I'm telling you semantic artificial intelligence, but it doesn't mean that everybody of you should be the big specialist in semantic AI or understand what it means. So we created, let's say in this case, we created the cake with the many layers, and the cake started with the SNOMED-CT. SNOMED-CT is, let's put it this way, it's like the alphabet for clinical terminology. Without this SNOMED-CT ontology, the name is ontology, is used in more than 50 countries, and this is the basic terminology for clinical treatment. Then we put the level of ICD-10. ICD-10, that's the international ontology for all diseases and for all symptoms. Then we put the layer of different medical drugs. For example, in Europe or in Spain, we use the database of Vademecum Vidal. In the United States, we received permission from FDA to use their database of allowed drugs. And then we also processed and we add more than 2.5 million scientific medical documents, articles. So after digesting all this, we created the structure of 1.5 million medical concept. For example, patient is a medical concept. To send patient to home is medical concept. So with this medical concept, we can process any text and to get the knowledge from this text. And for us, doesn't matter how many texts will be, 10 millions, 100 millions, or 100. What we understand the concepts of these words. So how it will help? It will help easily. You can see here the presentation of the graph. Graph is exactly the same like our brain. In the brain, we have nodes, we have neurons, and they're all connected. So more or less here in this scan, you can see clinical study and the connections of everything which related to one patient. It may be the data where he lived, what type of water he drinks, whether he was traveling to Africa, whether he has any type of the diseases in his family, whatever. Everything connected. And if we know what he has or what he might have, we can connect it to the scientific knowledge from everything which is published on the planet Earth. So let's come and see how, with the help of the semantic AI, we can help in different fields and in different parts of the pharma, of the life of the pharma industry. Here is a good example. With the help of the part of the semantic AI, the name is graph kernels. By the way, our company, we're using graph kernels, and we are very big specialists in graph kernels. The difference between graph kernels and the neuronal network is the following. Then you put a lot of data, zillions of data in neuronal network, it's like black box. You don't know why the question which you ask will have this answer. Because neuronal network, it's black box. Everything is inside, you don't know. However, in the graph kernels, if you ask the question and the answer is not what you were expecting, you can make the process of investigation. Why this answer is not what I'm expecting. And for medical field, for medical industry, it's very important because we are talking about people's life. So I need to know why the question was not well reported. So here is an article, which is a quite famous article, which is explaining that with the semantic AI, we can we can predict new features of a different type of the processes which pharma is interested in. For example, predicting proteins, predicting active principles of the drugs, predicting some reactions. And as to the pharma industry, all this is very important, and pharma industry is talking the language of the real world evidence. So the semantic AI is putting the platform to make sure that the real world evidence has scientific base. So analyzing patients' electronic health records, we can predict drugs interrelationships, which is very important things. This is also a very famous article where it was predicted with artificial intelligence that the usage of different drugs can bring the patient to the kidney failure. And that was, nobody was thinking about it before. After processing data, after getting out the knowledge of the medical concepts and knowledge of how the drugs are affecting the patient, they have found, with the help of the semantic AI, that the patients who are using those drugs can get the kidney failure. So this is the real evidence of the usage of the semantic AI in the field of the pharma. So here are the examples of other scientific articles, and all those scientific articles are exactly about the same, how semantic AI is applied to real-world evidence to help the pharma to be more efficient. And instead of try and see the result, will be try, but before the try, can you predict what will be the result? And this is very important part. Why? Because we are decreasing the time between developing of the drug and getting the results. And this is very important because, you know, the pharma industry, they're spending billions of dollars to develop drug. So if we are decreasing the time, we are decreasing the cost. If we are decreasing the cost, we are more cost effective. So here you have the article about predicting adverse drug reaction, analyzing electronic health records. Here is a drug monitoring, analyzing electronic health records. And also we can predict different properties, analyzing different type of the trials. So as I showed this before in a smaller version, now it's the bigger version. We are working in Spain with several hospitals. And with these hospitals, what we are doing, we are processing in an anonymized way, protecting the data, which is, I told you, the big obsession of everybody today. We are processing the electronic health records, and we are trying to connect everything. So here is the example that everything which has to do with our health is important. What type of the habits we have, whether the person is smoker or not, whether he has family background, what is his age, what type of the area he lives, whether this area has pollution or not, whether what type of the weather this person lived in, what is his income, because of his income many things depends on, like what type of the food he is eating, where he can spend vacation, so many things like that. And all this, why we need all this? For one very serious reason. This is not just to process the data. This is not only to give you real world evidence. This is to make the important step for the predictive medicine. I heard many people, many influencers who are talking about the predictive medicines, but without constructing of this individual health graph, you can't make this step of the predictive medicine. Because from Excel table or the standard tables with the statistics of the patients, you can't do nothing in the predictive medicine. If you would like to get predictive medicine, and then the dream of many pharmas who would like to treat us in the individual way, the only way is go through the applying artificial intelligence, create the individual health graph, and then to go to the individual treatment of each of us. Now, this is a very interesting slide. To the right side, unfortunately in Spanish, is a real document prepared by one doctor in oncology department in one Spanish hospital. And you see all words here are in different colors. Why they are in different colors? They're in different colors just to show you what does it mean when I was telling to you, we have 1.5 million medical concepts, and we understand any text, whether this text will be in HTML, RTF format, PDF, whatever. If it's in digital form, we understand everything what is inside. And then we take all these and bring to the format of graphs. So you probably, you know, for those who do not understand well semantic AI, that will be, nice, you know, different colors for different words. But for people who does understand what does it mean electronic health records, who does understand what does it mean different concepts, this will be something very interesting. We understand with our algorithm absolutely everything in the electronic health record of this patient. We understand words and we understand figures, because our cake, as I was telling you with the different layers, understand on the very profound way what does it mean each word in the digital record in the world of the medicine. So then we are starting preparing the graph. If I understand everything in the electronic health record and I understand what does it mean for the health, I am starting constructing the graph with the concepts and relationships. Graph, as I told you in a very vulgar way, it's very easy to understand. It's like brain of all of us. In each of our brains, we have nodes. Nodes, this is a piece of information. Our brains are very lazy. If next day you'll see me on another picture, another speech, you'll listen, this is the guy who was giving the speech about pharma industry and Saudi mobile show. So that means that you already have a node with information about me. And then we have neurons which are connecting, and they're always looking for most efficient way to bring the knowledge to the owner of the brain. So that's what we are doing with the artificial intelligence. We are constructing the nodes of information and we are making connections in the most efficient way. And then if I construct these evidences about the health of the patient, I can help this patient. On the left side, you can see how semantic AI can enrich the ecosystem of the different sources of information. So imagine that this person has problems because of being a smoker. He has problems with the lungs. He may be the asthmatic, or he might have, unfortunately, lung cancer, whatever. But here, if we understand his medical concept of his health, we are connecting with the different sources of information, how we can make his life better. So this is very important concept. So immediately we can provide healthcare professionals, medical doctors with the triggers and those triggers will help to take the right decision. By the end of the day, semantic AI will help to save lives. And this is something pharma industry really wants, because pharma industry would like to know more about each patient. Before, nowadays, if we need something, the doctor is prescribing medicine, we go to the pharmacy to purchase this pharmacy, and we think, this drug will definitely help me. But we are all different. We are men, women, there are kids, we have different weight, we have different family backgrounds, whatever. So theoretically, we should be provided with different drugs, but it's not the case. Why? Because we don't have sufficient data to represent the individual health graph of each patient. So in the future, and I'm not talking about the future of 2050, no. I'm talking about the future maybe from 3 to 10 years. The big shift in pharma industry will be to the individual treatment. So if we know everything about your health, if we know everything about your symptoms, diagnosis, whatever, we can provide you with the individual treatment. So the drug won't be for everybody, like you buy aspirin or paracetamol in a pharmacy. We'll make pills for you and only for you, because those pills are the best pills for you. So this is the road: artificial intelligence, semantic AI, predictive medicine, individual treatment. So, and if I know the state of the health of individual person, and if I have many millions of those individual persons, I can create the knowledge graph of health for the hospital group, for the region, or for the country. If somebody would like to be more efficient, like for example, in this case, pharma industry, and the pharma industry would like to know what are the main diseases in this area, what are the main evidences of the diseases in this area, what are the main symptoms, what are the main trends, what is the most efficient treatment in this area, because in different areas, depending on water, weather, and many other additional factors, it might be different drugs. So in this case, the pharma can be more efficient, and not only pharma, the governments. So we are talking about optimizing resources, about making more deep dive into the health of the nation. We can predict diseases, we can predict trends, we can predict epidemic and pandemic situations, we can predict supply chain, we can predict pricing, and we can predict also things like how many gynecologists we are missing or how many oncologists we are missing. So semantic AI is a very powerful tool, not only for us as the geeks from the artificial intelligence. It's a very powerful tool for pharma industry in general, for the government and institutions which are involved in the medical and healthcare sector. And this is the way of the future, how we can optimize resources, because after pandemic situation, everybody understands the government are poor. Even the governments who were sitting on the big piles of money, they're not sitting anymore. So the governments would like now to apply the new mentality at how we can optimize resources in healthcare. The pharma industry is also thinking about it, how we can optimize resources, how I can be more cost effective, how I can use semantic AI to be in touch with the medical community and to forget these moth-eaten myth that the medical representatives is also the best way to sell my drugs. So the predictive medicine is the part of the future big game. So we are talking about predictive medicine. We have to think in this predictive medicine about different parts: prediction of patient evolution, early disease detection. Just to give the idea, imagine we make the patterns based on the 100,000 electronic health records of the diabetes 2 patients. So we have patterns with all type of the complications. And then we have the results of the blood test, urine test, and everything of the patient. And then we have the trigger in the health information system within the hospital. This patient made already 87% of the road to become diabetes 2 patient. So what is the cheaper for the government to do? To start treating this person today, or when he will be already the diabetes 2 patient? Of course, today. If I spend more time and money today, it will be cheaper for me in the long term to treat this person. Another part of the predictive medicine, pathology is pattern recognition. That's what I just explained you about. Medication disease relationship, treatment success prediction. Because if we processed 100,000 patients and we know which was the best result with which drugs, what type of the treatment, whatever, so we can create the table of the efficiency of the treatments. Personalized prescription, that's what I was trying to explain before. Individual treatment, personalized prescription. Now, one of the most important slogan for pharma industry today is beyond the pill. That means that I'm not only provider of the pills. So I'm not only selling you the pill. I would like to be something more. I would like to be big part or important part of the doctor's life. I would like to be integral part of the treatment and of the successful things in the society. So how we can use semantic AI to apply it for the knowledge management? Remember at the very beginning I was telling you, semantic AI is a part of, has three integral parts. Natural language processing, natural language understanding, and now it's natural language generation. So today, I'm not only processing and giving you the information. Information you can get even without me, probably longer, more difficult, but you can get it without me. But how can it be efficient in providing you with the knowledge management? Because the important part in this knowledge management is the timing. I can give you ideas, second opinion, help in seconds. In seconds. I was talking personally, and in our company, we make a lot of talks with the different pharma companies, big pharma companies in the top 15 on the planet Earth. And many of them told us that the doctors who are working inside those pharma companies, they're spending from 80 to 90% of their time reading the papers. Who can read so many papers? Look at the figures which are putting you here. The medical knowledge has gone from doubling every 50 years in 1950 to doubling knowledge in 73 days today. And the primary care physician would need 20 hours per day to stay updated. Who has this time? Who has 20 hours per day to read scientific articles? I don't know whether you know this figure, but in today, there are 10,000 medical articles published per day. Per day. Who has time to read these articles? Nobody. So we should create something with the help of the semantic AI to help the pharma industry to get the new knowledge, to help healthcare professionals to get new knowledge. So the pharma industry is trying today to get on this platform of the new value-added services. So I'm not only selling you pill, I'm not only pills provider, I will give you knowledge. And they are trying to focus this road on the key opinion leaders. So how the pharma industry can help key opinion leaders to be more efficient and to provide the new information, the new ideas to the healthcare community. So with the technology, we can get the relevant summaries. Just to give you a stupid example, imagine you bought 300-page oncology book about the oncology, and you have no time to read it. It's 300 pages, and you would like to read it in a very serious way because it's not like easy leisure. It's a book about the oncology and about new trends, about new achievements, whatever. But you're not interested in everything in oncology. It's a big field. So maybe you're specialist in prostate cancer, and you would like to get relevant answer on something you're really interested in. So system which we created based on our 1.5 million medical concept and based on the creation of the knowledge graph where we processed almost 2,000 medical guides and protocols, big database of the drugs, a lot of ontologies like Loing, MESH, SNOMED-CT, whatever. So we already processed the documents and we organize those documents with a hidden knowledge. So if you will ask something about this book which you just bought, we'll give you relevant answer in 1 or 2 or 20 paragraphs, depending upon your wish. You'll tell us, I would like to get the relevant answer about this prostate cancer in 1.5 pages, and we'll give you in 1.5 pages relevant answer on this. We can also measure documents similarity between documents. So for example, imagine you have 20,000 blood tests, and you will ask, can you measure the similarity of these blood tests depending upon leukocytes? So we'll help you to do it in seconds. We'll see how the documents organize, and then we'll do it. Automatic summarize of the documents. That's what I just explained you. We can make the summary of the most relevant documents. So you don't need to read 35 pages or 350 pages. We can give you relevant summary because why it's relevant? Because we understand in the natural language processing, we understand better your question. How we understand better your question? Maybe some of you, they have like this doubt. So I'll use another like vulgar examples. Imagine somebody is looking for lung cancer. In our system, we understand that lung is not only lung, it's the organ of respiration, and the cancer is not only cancer, it's also tumor. So we are going much deeper. We're not using keywords like big search engines. We're using medical concept for doing searches. And if somebody is looking for a big amount, big volumes of documents, we can help with the technology find the piece of text that the best answers a user query. That means simple, most relevant answer. The most relevant answer is the most important thing, which different scientists working in the medical sector, in the pharma industry are always looking for. Give me the relevant answer. I don't want to spend hours and hours digging in the documents. Whether it's important or not in the life of pharma company, I'll give you the one wonderful example. Last year, we had a very good meeting. It was a brainstorming meeting with one big pharma from the top 10 in the world here in Spain. And it was a very good meeting because we understood better the pharma industry. They understood better what type of the technology we have. And they gave us extremely good example. Recently, they started working on the new product. The new product starts with the moleculars. Moleculars is bringing you to the active principles of the future drugs. So this is the process. After working for 8 months on this project, spending millions already, they have found that something like 35 years ago, they were already working on the same project. They didn't know. Why? Because it's a huge company with the terabytes of the documents. These documents are in data lake, and nobody was processing or looking for these documents. That means, what does it mean, data lake? Data lake is your knowledge. Data lake is your efficiency. But if you do not process your data lake, if you do not create knowledge management for your data you have, you are not efficient. You are not efficient. You are just wasting your time and you are wasting your money. So this is very important part of all these process. This is example what we did. This is Deep AI Met is our smart browser, and it helps. The smart browser helps to find efficient answer. And this is the technology we have, because we can make it ad hoc for pharma, we can make it ad hoc for healthcare provider, and we can make it ad hoc for either for patient or either for professional. So another thing what we are doing quite a lot for pharma industry, we are helping them to substitute traditional channels. With traditional channel with the relation with the medical community would be what I told you before, medical representatives. So we are helping them to go to new system, and the new system is to create the new digital way of the relationship channels between pharma industry and medical community. How? We are creating them to create digital medical community. We do have successful stories. We're working now with a big pharma in the MENA area. So we started the project in Kuwait, Emirates, and we are about starting the same project in Egypt. So we help the pharma to connect to medical community in different therapeutical areas in the new digital way. So we created the instrument, which is like the, also, and just for you for better understanding, we like put together WhatsApp, we put together with the Facebook, and we put together with a lot of different tools for doctors. So our product name is MedBla. It's like Messenger. You can see it on the Apple Store and Google Play. Now we are changing it for design, but it doesn't matter. The most important, we are making engagement and we are bringing the new knowledge to the doctors. And the knowledge is helping them to be better professional. Who is behind the ideas? Who is behind the knowledge? Pharma. They are interested in their in the very polite way and a very ethical way of promoting some new knowledge, some new drugs, whatever, and some new methodology. And we are a neutral platform. But we are a neutral platform which has AI behind us. So we process everything and we create new knowledge for pharma and for healthcare professionals. So this is the new relationship channels, and this is the future, because nobody knows how long this pandemic situation will last, whether it will be 3 months more or 13 months more. We don't know. And we don't know whether it will be another pandemic situation, but we know for sure the medical representatives is the past. It should be the new channels. If the doctors would like to see something sitting on the beach, 24 hours a day, he should do it through his mobile or for his computer, but not waiting that somebody will come to visit him and he will explain in the face-to-face situation. So this is very important thing now to make our life more digitalized. Everybody understands here that the life will never be like it was before. Another very important part, I see that I'm out of time, very important part where our system is very important is treatment adherence. More than 50% of chronic patients fail to adhere to their treatment. And this is a big part of the pharma business. Pharma, according to some statistics, are losing more than 20% of possible incomes because the patients are not following the instructions. So we are thinking how semantic AI can help the patients to follow the treatments. So we created the system, which is also using semantic AI and based on the chatbots. But our chatbots and our relations are more difficult than it was before, more, I would say, more profound. Normally we're thinking, okay, we'll send to the patient recommendation through a chatbot that take your pills. Excuse me, but if the patient is 67 years old and he or she, they're not using smartphones. So how you'll be in this adherence system? So we're thinking, let's do something which will help on the big scale. And the big scale is, we'll call the person, but we will not call one by one. It's not call center. We're not creating call center with 20,000 employees. We are creating the call center by chatbot. So somebody is calling and asking, hello, how are you today? How do you feel? Do you remember that you have to take the yellow or blue pill at 5 o'clock in the evening? So this is the system which can help on the big scale. And in the communication, we also convert communication into the knowledge. So we're making two important things. We are generating communication and we are processing communication. We are getting knowledge about the behavior of the patients, about the behavior of the chronic patients, which is very important. When you have the behavior patterns, you can apply the new algorithms for them, and thus you can be more efficient. So we created this communication channel with another company, Tukuvi, and this is, I'm very proud to say that we were the father and mother of this Tukuvi company because the guy who created this company was working with us, and he won the hackathon organized by MIT, and we are very proud because in our company, the IQ level is very high. We have 5 people making PhD. Everybody has 1 or 2 master degrees. But we created this channel, which helps pharma companies and especially the governmental organization, healthcare organizations to be more efficient. So, finalizing. Artificial intelligence, excuse me, and semantic artificial intelligence is a very powerful tool for pharma companies. The pharma companies can be more efficient. The pharma companies can make faster the road to the digital transformation. The pharma companies may be more efficient in real-world evidence. The pharma companies can get the new tools of knowledge management. They can be more efficient in market research. I would say it can be even online with the system we have with the semantic AI that can be even online. And the adherence with the advanced behavior patterns is the new reality. So thank you very much. Sorry for taking a little bit more time, and I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you very much for the very interesting and rich presentation, Dr. Oleg. We really enjoyed everything. As you know, I come from an AI background, and I am very impressed by the work that has been done with the semantic AI. I've been explaining what semantic AI is good for and how powerful it is. But here with you, we can see nowadays how this can be applied to different applications and to different sectors, and especially for the drug marketing digital transformation process. I think what you have presented is really more than interesting for us, for everybody who attended. And I would like to open the floor here for people to ask more questions. We have Engineer Majid with us, so please, if you can authorize him to speak.
Of course.
Hello?
Hello, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Professor Oleg. It's very impressive and very comprehensive presentation. And I don't know from where to start and to end. I have a lot of things to say. I just want to point out 3 or 4 points if the time is allowed. First, you mentioned about the Microsoft declaration yesterday. I just want you to elaborate more on that, but this is just leave it at the last thing, because it's not clear for me in a full picture what is the meaning of their declaration yesterday. Second, you mentioned about the preventive medicine, and you bring two examples through the Semantic AI, one related to the kidney, and the other one for the kidney ones, that you can know exactly in advance what is a person has in order to protect him. And I come across a company in the United States, and that company was established long time ago and very promising. And that company is from a professor on Stanford Genome Center and called Base Health. And that Base Health is join the medical, the environmental, and the behavioral history of a person. And this can be analyzed, and you can give it to the doctor, the results, and he can exactly design the right drug for him from his gene. Second, regarding the cancer, you mentioned about the protein. And according to my knowledge, that if there is a gene for one person that can generate a protein, so this will extend the cancer cells in his body. And we know from the history that President Nixon, at the early 70s, he made a national project about cancer treatment, and that project actually failed. So now with this technique that you have it now, do you think that will help a lot, that a person for a preventive medicine to have a diagnosis for his cells, especially the smokers and so in the early stages, they can treat him through a drug tailored to his gene in order not to go for the second step that it's very difficult to treat it. Third, regarding the cost of the government, as you said, in order to protect their people in advance, in order not to pay more money for curing them. Do you see the insurance companies, in this case, has a role for each person who have a medical insurance, that to make a personalized analytical diagnosis for him, and that will make the cost of his insurance bill going dramatically down. Fifth, the cost of the analysis now. I know there's a company in the United States about personalized diagnosis analysis, and the cost before it is $100,000 for a person. Now it goes down like 2016 to 10,000, and now going to 4,000, and maybe with time it will go less than that, so everybody can afford that. If we go speaking about the global scale. So what is your comments?
Okay, I'll try to be,
thank you.
Yeah, I'll try to be very precise on your answers. Now, I'll start from the last question. We had a very good relation here with the big healthcare group, and definitely you know this group Bupa. Here the name is Sanitas Bupa. And the group is divided in different sectors like Sanitas Dental, Sanitas Insurance, and Sanitas Hospitals. According to European regulation, the data from Sanitas Hospitals are not allowed to be the knowledge of Sanitas Insurance. Why? Because from one point of view, Majid, you are right, that if the insurance company would know better on the predictive level, the healthcare picture of the clients, the cost will go dramatically down. But from the other point of view, those who are the chronic patients, the companies can raise the price. So they can raise the price telling, oh, this guy will cost me a lot because he is a chronic patient, he will spend, and they're making calculations how many predictive days they'll spend in the hospital, and they will start increasing the price. So this is very ethically contradictive question. From one point of view, you're right. Maybe the insurance company should invest in the new technology to know better and to predict the cost of the treatment. But from the other point of view, from another part of view, is if I am on the way to be chronic or serious patient, they will increase my quote to pay. So this is from the point of view of the data protection. The insurance companies are not allowed today, at least today, to know the data, the records of the patients. The second question, can we do on the big scale, can we be more efficient in the treatment of the big diseases of the planet Earth, like cancer, like diabetes, or other diseases? Theoretically, yes. But I'll give you a very good example in space industry, and you'll understand me perfectly well. Why don't we put the budgets of all big countries like Russia, United States, Japan, European Space Agency, whatever, together, and we'll explore space in more efficient way? Nobody is doing this. Why? Because everybody is more egoistic, everybody is not patriotic, more egoistic, because if I'll find something, it's for me, not for everybody. So the same thing is happening in the world of the drug discovery, in the world of the treatment of the diseases. We live in the capitalist society. So each pharma company would like to be the first to deliver, to produce, to sell. And this is the game of who is the most powerful in the world of treating. So from one point of view, we all would like to live longer, we would like to be healthy, and we would like the scientists to find a way to eradicate cancer as a disease. From other point of view, we have zillions of lobbies which are trying to be the first to sell more, and that the shares on the market goes up. So there will be more dividends by the end of the year. So also another problem is the data. Many times I have the data, I don't want to share my data. So this is another very big issue. In order to create patterns, like you were making the example in the question 1, the kidney. So I can make the question on kidney and create the patterns if I have a lot of data. 1 or 100 patients, it's not the pattern. The pattern will be starting with 30,000, 100,000. That's when I'm making the patterns. And then the patterns should be also supervised by humans. By the way, I never told you here that we are 100% giving 100% solution in artificial intelligence. No, we are providing technology. the technology should be supervised by the human. Don't worry if there are some doctors here who are not taking work from you. We would need always you to supervise the technology. You have the empiric experience which the computers, they don't have. So we need supervise, we have to create patterns, supervise patterns, make changes to create machine learning, from machine learning, deep learning, and only then we can get something which will be 95% efficient. So the question with the cancer or kidney will be, how many data I have? Those data, are those data validated or not? I'm giving you a very nice example. When I started 5 years ago, this company, I didn't know about it. Now I know much more. So my example is, we think that we all know about blood types. No. When we opened our company, the branch in India, I realized there is another type of blood, Bombay blood. So maybe the kidney patient with the same symptoms in Riyadh, same symptoms in Madrid, and same symptoms in New York will be different from the patient with the same symptoms in Mumbai, because the person in Mumbai will have Bombay type blood, and they have different anticorps in their blood. So there are a lot of things together. And the problem is the data are incompatible. So we are overcoming this problem with our graph system. So for us, it doesn't matter. Even if you have 1 million different healthcare information system in Saudi Arabia or in any other area, we can take this data and put it on the new level of understanding on the big scale. And then, but the problem is how I'm getting this data. Everybody's sitting like this. No, I don't share this data. It's my data. So this is another big problem. So in cancer, exactly the same. There are some things, it's like iceberg. You read this one, you know this one, but there are a lot of industries, pharma companies, medical centers, big hospitals, which are working on their own projects, and those projects are secret. So unfortunately today, to create this world, wonderful world where everybody is sharing the data, working together to save the world, it's still the future.
What about the one regarding the Microsoft declaration yesterday? Can you elaborate more, please?
Let me explain you. GPT-3 is the transformer, and theoretically imagine you're asking, you put the name of my article, of my presentation, from drug discovery to digital marketing, you press the button, and GPT-3 is writing the article by themselves, taking all possible sources available, and they create the article. So it's not me, that GPT-3 will create an article. Imagine how powerful is this tool. So we can giving the sources of information, and they can create magazines, they can create newspapers, news, whatever. So artificial intelligence is taking the world.
May I just elaborate more on the last question? You know, also the reading of the data and analyzing the data, the companies that they make a personalized analysis, they are not giving it to you like a base health company. They give it to you to the doctors. And now we come to a point, how many doctors in each nation per a person? Let's say in the United States, there are 2.4 doctors per 100,000. In other countries, 0.2 per 100,000. So this is also a lot for doctors in the country. So how can the country planning for this healthcare, preventive health care for their citizens?
I would say that the tool like ours, for example, what we created for pharma industry, this platform to connection between pharma and some therapeutical area with the medical community inside. So we provide the knowledge. So we have inside the tools, and those tools are giving the possibility to giving you the possibility to give new knowledge to the doctor. So the doctors has not to read all these big articles. So we can brief them very quickly. So this is the only way how we can provide. So bring the knowledge available in a free or cheap way to all doctors on planet Earth. Unfortunately, I have to finish because my
Thank you very much for your...
May I just comment? It'll just take a couple of, hopefully not more than a minute.
Yes,
I'd like
please.
to thank
Go ahead,
you.
Dr.
I'd like to thank you, Dr. Oleg. You have really enriched us with all your expertise. At the moment right now, and just answering what Dr. Majid mentioned, at the moment right now in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, after Sadaya, which is the Saudi Data Artificial Intelligence Authority, has actually been launched, all the data now is trying to be all under one umbrella, and they do have the authority being a government, but that's not my point. My point is, at the moment right now, regarding this artificial intelligence, I've been working on a very large project that we're hoping to roll out by the end of the year. We were delayed because of the COVID. If you look at artificial intelligence and you look at data and the algorithms, machine learning, and then the deep learning, the buzzword is really in ophthalmology, because in ophthalmology, Dr. Oleg, the retina is the only part that you can actually see through imaging. So we've now, it's a program, I don't give myself credit to it. It's been actually developed in the States for the last 10 years, and it has been FDA approved both in the States, Canada, and also in Europe. But what I did do, and you mentioned something really very interestingly, that we differ being in different parts of the world. This particular algorithms, I tried many that are actually FDA approved in the States. This particular one did succeed in the Saudi population simply because it was done in Britain. And in Britain, we know we have a lot of the underdeveloped countries whether they're Pakistanis, from Bangladesh, a lot of Arabs and Indians and so forth. But just to make a story short, we took their algorithms. Of course, we partnered with them and we customized it to the Saudi population. And we tried it on the Saudi population, and long and behold, it worked. We had to customize it to changing a lot of the algorithms. But what I'm trying to say is it's very difficult sometimes to start from scratch if time is of importance. So to take something that has already been approved and worked on abroad, whether in the States, Europe, and Britain, and then to be able to take it and customize it really made a big difference in hopefully what we're launching. In simple terms, it's just the diabetic retinopathy, which is the diabetic eye disease. And so we're hoping to be able to screen the 10 million diabetics where over 60% can't even get into the system to be screened, to be able to screen them through artificial intelligence, through what we call automation. It's a class 2A device, and hopefully leave us as the surgeons and retinologists and not want to triage, but leave our skills and our time, since we're such a small entity, we're not that much, to be able to treat. So I want this, and I don't call it a black box anymore, by the way, Dr. Oleg. I call it a white box, not because I'm a physician and I wear a white lab coat, because now I know what to expect from it. So I want to leave all the triaging and all this cost and time and patients having to travel to the major cities for this white box to be able to triage it, and for this white box to be able to send these patients to me and saying, Dr. Salwa, this patient needs treatment, whether it's laser, whether it's injection, or whether it's surgery. Thank you.
Yeah, the most important part of what we are doing is to eradicate routine in the life, whether it will be pharma or medical doctor. So that's why AI will help the humans to eradicate routine and to make it more efficient and faster. Thank you very much for your attention, for your questions, for everything. Fatma, thank you very much for inviting me.
We are proud to have you. I'm sure that your work is outstanding. I have seen it myself, and we are interested to carry on with the research and the progress that we're doing together, inshallah, and also with the society. We would love to see also some other workshop related to the technical part as well, where we can organize together. And I'm sure that this is just the beginning, Dr. Oleg, and it's been a wonderful, very rich presentation. I do understand the background of AI and semantic, and I see the effort that has been put into this. And I can easily say that the knowledge graph that you've been working on and that you have represented here with us is a state of the art, and it has.
Thank you. Thank you very much for everybody.